English 112 is at heart about academic writing. I'd like to spend a few minutes discussing with you what I mean by academic writing and how it connects to what you're doing in class. First of all, there can be a sense that you can't be yourself in academic writing, that you have to take on some other kind of persona, and more importantly, that you're not supposed to use I statements. I want to clarify here that there are ways to use I and other singular personal pronoun statements in an academic paper, but still have an academic voice. The biggest way to do this is to avoid I sentences that begin with phrases like I think, I believe, I want, I understand, etc. The reason that I say to do this is because those types of I statements tend to come across as opinion. And when I think of opinion, I don't necessarily think about academic writing. I think about personal narrative. For the purposes of this class, I want you to consider researching any argument that you make. By doing this, you're educating yourself and educating your audience. But more importantly, this will help you from having to say I think and I believe. Instead, you can say something like, in my research, I have found, or I read in blank journal. These points and these I statements come across more strongly because they're based in research and literature that helps support your ideas and claims. So when I give you a point or an edit mark in any of your papers or writing assignments or homeworks where I say to you you're using the wrong kind of I statement, I hope this now explains what I mean. I also want you to think about judging the purpose and audience of your essay. For the most part, for this class, I tend to be your audience, and I am looking for that level of academic writing without opinion. However, if you were going to be writing some kind of narrative for an editorial in a newspaper, the school paper, etc., your audience would change, and thus the tone and type of writing that you use needs to be reflective on who your audience is and how you're trying to reach them. If you're writing for a whole bunch of college-educated people, you might use one set of vocabulary in a specific type of writing versus perhaps children who are in elementary school. I know that's a large difference, but I hope it makes an important point. Similarly, you want to think about the purpose of your writing. The topic of your essay will also impact your tone. Serious topics, items such as abortion or politics, might need to be taken with a more serious tone than when we write essays about things like watching television. So you also need to keep your purpose in mind. Part of your purpose might be whether you're trying to inform or convince someone. And again, whether you're trying to inform or convince would require a different tone. I also want to talk briefly about meta-commentary. Meta-commentary is when you make a point and then you either clarify that point or elaborate. My point is ... is another example of how you could use the singular personal pronoun appropriately in academic writing. Often when you're writing these types of papers, you need to have an initial topic sentence or point, but then you need to clarify or elaborate on that point. Clarification and elaboration could include quotes or research from outside material, or simply an explanation of what you mean by your point. But meta-commentary is very important, especially in persuasive writing. Please let me know if you have any questions about academic tone, using the word I in papers, or meta-commentary.